So let's finish it. Let's finish Midnight Pumpkin, our fall stitch along, with your stitching host, Laura Bosma, Pretty Penny Precoats, and the Southeastern Quilt and Textile Museum. We're going to look at applying backing to the oval shaped mat. Again, I've stitched mine in its original kind of fat quarter rectangle form because I'm hoping to turn this into a pillow. So in interest of time and so that you can see it well, I'm going to miniaturize what the oval would have been. So imagine that you have completely stitched your oval. Notice that mine shrank so that you can see what I'm doing. You've come up with what you're going to back your mat with. So imagine this is a fat quarter. This is your original 11 or 17 by 14 oval. This is a fat quarter of fabric. And then I do like to use the Light Steamaseam 2 fusible. So imagine that's about a fat quarter, which is about 18 by 22 inches, something along those lines. I did not provide the fusible. That would be something that you would need to get. But those are the three items plus the needle and thread that I would use to stitch the background. So our first step would be then to steam press your oval. So imagine again it's been stitched and you've got it laying nice and flat. If you want to make sure it's not too distorted, then take your original freezer paper template and just lay it back down. Looks good to me. I wouldn't trim anything at that particular stage. I often honestly do use full fusible on the back of my mats. So what that means is I would remove the waste paper from this particular piece and I would apply the entire thing onto it. Now I have found I have better luck applying the fusible, remember the sticky part, to the back of the actual stitch work over applying it to just the layer of cotton. I find I get fewer bubbles and wrinkles that way. Now some of you may not like full fusible on the back of your mats and say it's too stiff. I don't find it so, but that again is a personal thing, personal preference kind of a thing. At this point, if I'm doing full fusible, I would come along and maybe trim about 1/4 of an inch away all the way around. I don't want to trim exactly to it just yet. So that's kind of where we're at, but let me show you. If you're not happy with doing full fusible, I'm just going to lift that off. I'm going to put our waste paper back on as best I can here. Here's what I recommend. Take your template. Again, yours is about 17 inches wide and about 14 inches high, and fold it in quarters. So there's half, and there's 1/4. And then I would recommend that you trace. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to hopefully come up with my mechanical pencil, lickety split fast. There it is. And then I would recommend that you trace 4 of these, not the whole thing. I'm doing the perimeter edge. I'm coming in about 1/4 of an inch on each side. And then I'm just doing a rough. Because if you only want fusible around the perimeter where you're going to stitch that'll hold it to the mat, then that's fine. And we need 4 of those. So I'm going to do this 4 times. So you create the shape and then you would simply just attach those to the back of your mat. So if you did 4 of them, then you would figure out I need 1, 2, with my finger, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how you would do partial fusible. And that's called a window, or the window method. And it's good. It's perfect. You guys do what you want. Maybe this is something new and you want to try it. But again, personally, I'm going to go back to full fusible. And I'm just going to lay it down on that and then kind of smooth it. All right. And then, as I said, you know, you've got to put your parchment paper back on top of here. Feel it really good. If it doesn't feel like it has any little sticky parts, then you can just line it right back up on there. And again, since we're ironing on paper, I would go ahead and dry iron this. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be back to you in just a minute.